Hey KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra here at Allen Fieldhouse. I'm Matt Tate, this is Benton Smith. And KU wins it tonight 81-60 over in-state rival Kansas State. Unfortunately, there's very little basketball worth talking about tonight. I mean, there was some stuff that happened on the court that was tremendous from the KU perspective. Christian Brown being the biggest thing. Career high 20 points, 6 three-pointers off the bench. Really played a great game, but as Bill Self said after this game, on a night when they should be talking about they're talking about something that happened right behind us. One of the ugliest scenes I've ever seen at a sporting event that I've been at. A fight, a melee, a brawl that involved pretty much everybody on both teams, both involved in the fight and then also trying to break it up.
I think most of the people, there were so many people in this little area back here, and most of them had really good intentions. Like, let's put an end to this.
Right.
But a few of them, it was just like, all right, I'm out here swinging, and let's see what happens.
Yeah,
so it's just a bad look.
Chaos
for everybody.
Chaos. You wrote that in your story. If you haven't read it yet, go check it out at KUsports.com. That's the only word to describe it. And there are a million. And the words that Bill Self used: embarrassing, inexcusable. Bruce Weber called it disappointing. There's no doubt that all of those words and others apply. Basically what happened is you've got a game where this one's over. It's in the books. The seconds are winding down.
You got your walk-ons on the floor.
Walk-ons are on the floor. The fans are going wild, loving Chris Tehan being in the game. Michael Jankovic hit a three from the corner. I mean, it should have been a great Sunflower Showdown win for Kansas. And in the final 10 seconds, Silvio De Sousa gets the ball stolen from him by a K-State player. Takes offense to that. Raise your hand if you've seen that before this season. And goes and blocks the shot. I mean, volleyball blocks it. Spiked it straight down. Should have been the end of it. A great block after a tough play. Self flat out said he doesn't blame the kid on K-State's side for playing hard to the end.
Right.
Silvio shouldn't have the ball stolen from him. He knows that. Self's taught him that before, blah, blah, blah. So you get this steal in a game that's over by 20 points. You get this block. And then you get Silvio hovering over the kid for a minute, which happens. I mean, those things you see all the time. Guy blocks a shot or fouls a guy, stands over him to show him up, that kind of thing. Well, then that's when it started. And that's when it turned into a crazy scene, which guys from the K-State bench rushing in to take offense to Silvio doing that. Then Silvio pushing back. David McCormick in there, punches being thrown. Silvio lifted up a chair at one point over his head, a stool.
Yeah.
And at that point, the KU coaches and both teams' coaches were in there desperately trying to control this thing.
Trying to break it up the best they could. I mean, at that point, there's so many bodies, and it's so hard to contain. Just people bumping into each other, tripping over each other. Some guys trying to rear back. I mean, it was utter chaos. It was insane, and I think KU honestly is lucky that it didn't get worse, because it definitely could have. I think both coaches kind of mentioned that after the game, but it's
going
easy.
to.
Yeah,
It's
going to get worse in terms of punishments, suspensions, that type of thing. But
a lot of that's coming.
Yeah, but I mean, this is where fans sit. This is where a lot of fans in wheelchairs sit in this area.
This is the
this could have been a lot.
section.
This could have been a lot worse than it ended up being.
When Self was asked about that, I asked him about if he'd heard of any fans being injured in the incident. His face turned to disgust.
Oh yeah.
He says the handicap section. You can at least go watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. He said at least keep that on the court. Why do you have to go into the stands? And he called out their toughness. He said this is not toughness. This is immaturity. It's selfishness and not at all toughness. And he's dead on. He also hinted or alluded to punishments coming tomorrow. He's not going to waste any time. They're going to have to look at all the different videos, all the different angles, all the different photographs, obviously talk to people. They're going to have to talk with the Big 12 Conference, with Kansas State. There's a lot to sort out here, and this is going to be something you're hearing about for a while. I mean, the next couple of weeks for sure. Oh, by the way, ESPN's College Game Day is coming to this building on Saturday. I'm sure they'll talk about it some. And nobody's going to care about the final score of this game or Christian Brown breaking out or anything. I mean, in time, that'll be something you look back on. But tonight, the story was no doubt the ugly, ugly ending. And what jumps out to me, and we've kind of alluded to this, is just how unnecessary it was.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't have to end that way. Silvio blocks the shot. KU walks back to the bench, celebrating a 20-point win over their rival, and they shake hands. And that's it. I mean, it didn't have to be anything like this. And You know, this is not trying to take the high road or anything like that. I think there's a lot of people that believe that this was just totally unnecessary.
And I mean, it was bizarre too, because like you could maybe see that happening if like both teams had kind of been chirping at each other and it had been a real physical game or something like that,
Yeah.
or maybe it had come close to blows on the court earlier. But I mean, it pretty much just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I didn't see anything in the minutes leading up to that in the second half that indicated something like that was, you know,
No.
kind of bubbling beneath the surface. So
Yeah, and I
it
mean,
was truly strange.
To borrow a line from a movie, it escalated quickly. I mean, that's not a joke either.
Yeah.
It did. It the next thing you know, they're kind of mixing it up, and then it just turned into a roar. I got up out of my seat. You know, officials are trying to sort it out. They actually had to put 1 second back on the clock because of the technical foul on Silvio. And then all the players that came off the bench were technically ejected from this game. So we'll find out what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not just about Bill Self punishing his guys for, you know, unnecessary behavior. It's about rules and ejections and leaving the bench, and all that has to be sorted out too. So it's gonna be a wild couple of days trying to figure out exactly what happens, and furthermore exactly who is in uniform, who is on the roster, who is on the floor when KU plays Tennessee on Saturday. Just wild stuff. Any final thoughts?
Just the last thing you ever want to see at a
Right.
game. Because I mean, it was not like an exciting game by any means because KU played so well. But by the end of the night, I mean, you don't even think about what you just saw on the court.
Right.
It's all about what's going to come because of what happened off the court. It's just a bad night, another bad look for KU, unfortunately.
No doubt. He's Ben Smith. I'm Matt Tate. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. We'll see you guys next time.